I've always been a fan of arcadey style fishing games, the kind where you can just sit back, casting lines and reeling in fish at a nice, relaxing pace. Even though my last actual fishing trip ended up as a kid with a hook stuck in my hand. Creatures of the Deep, available on iOS and Android, caught my eye for its promise of combining fishing with exploration and some light RPG mechanics. And with its free-to-play model, it seemed like a great way to dive into a relaxing, simulation-heavy experience. You're dropped into several locations, sailing your boat to different fishing spots and collecting all kinds of aquatic creatures. The game's mechanics are easy to pick up. Tap to cast and reel in fish. There's a more active minigame component that appears when you're catching a rare fish, but that's all there really is to it. There's an underlying depth to managing your resources, leveling up attributes like strength and perception, and completing quests. And while it all sounds exciting on paper, the game's pacing is what eventually caught up to me. First and foremost, it's a visually relaxing experience. The game's environments, from calm, sunlit waters to dynamic weather changes, are immersive and peaceful. Sailing from one point to the next with nothing but the sound of water and the occasional splash of fish creates a soothing atmosphere perfect for a casual gaming session. I could see myself coming back to it just for the visuals and sound design alone. The game's progression system also adds an interesting layer of gameplay. You're not just fishing for fun, there's a real sense of purpose as you choose to level up certain skills, deciding whether to put points into strength for reeling in tougher fish or perception to spot rare fish more easily. The game gives it a slight RPG feel. This element adds some longevity beyond just catching the fish themselves. There's also a variety of fish to catch, including rare ones that offer an exciting challenge. Hooking one of these elusive creatures is rewarding, and it's this tension that keeps the gameplay loop engaging. The missions are another highlight, from helping your local NPCs to uncovering hidden monsters, though I never actually completed it in my 4 hours of playtime. There's always something that you're working towards. You have a goal in mind, as you can have sessions about getting enough coins for a new part of your island, or upgrading your lures by catching the same fish over and over again. But despite these relaxing atmospheres and intriguing mechanics, it starts to wear on you after a while. One of the biggest issues I encountered while playing this game is its slow pacing. After 4 hours of playtime, I was only able to get to level 3, barely making any real progress. The leveling system, while rewarding in concept, drags on to the point where it starts to feel more like a grind than an enjoyable experience. It's not uncommon to find yourself stuck with limited options and a slow path forward. Having to choose between actually being able to reel in important fish and seeing those important fish is a really uncomfortable choice. Every time that you get a fish or gather materials like wood, you need to travel back to your base to sell or use them. However, this comes at a cost. Each trip back to your base costs 100 coins to leave, and with a limited inventory of just 5 slots, you're constantly forced to return and waste coins on travel. This system eats into your returns, and it makes it feel like a chore rather than a natural part of the gameplay. The cost is particularly frustrating when combined with the frequent need to replace fishing rods, which break far too often. It's around a 50% cost of all of your returns early on in the game. It got to the point where I was genuinely worried that I was going to soft lock myself by running out of coins. Additionally, the game's sense of progression is hindered by these grind-heavy mechanics. Collecting wood to upgrade your base or unlocking new areas is a slow process, and you can only gather a limited amount of resources each day. To upgrade your boat or build new sections at your base, you'll need a mix of wood and coins, and these upgrades, I can imagine, can take weeks to get to the next milestone. It can be a deal breaker for players who aren't planning on playing extensively. After spending around 4 hours with Creatures of the Deep, I found myself torn. On one hand, the game excels at creating a calm and peaceful experience with its stunning visuals and simple yet engaging mechanics. There's something incredibly satisfying about exploring new fishing spots and catching those rare fish, and even leveling up your character. The mix of missions, monsters, and resource management gives the game a lot of potential, especially for those that love fishing games or just some slow burn simulators. But the slow progression, costly resource management, and grind-heavy mechanics make it hard to fully recommend to anyone else. The game requires a lot of patience, and unless you're ready to sink in hours into repetitive tasks, you might find yourself frustrated with the lack of meaningful progress. It's a game that asks for a significant time commitment, which for some might be a pro. If you're a fan of fishing games and enjoy long, slow journey of gradually building up your character and base, Creatures of the Deep may be worth the investment. However, if you're looking for a faster paced experience or a game that just rewards you a bit quicker, this one might not be for you. I wanted to love this game, I really did, but in the end, its slow pacing just didn't reel me in.